The 20th century philosopher George Gurdjieff once revealed a paradox so terrifying that it shatters the very foundation of human existence. He said, "A man who is in prison has absolutely no chance of escape if he does not first realize that he is in prison. And the ultimate, most inescapable prison ever engineered is the one where the prisoner is convinced he is completely free. Look at your hands. Listen to your heartbeat. You think you are an independent human, making your own choices. But quantum mechanics has already proven that 99.99% of your body is completely empty space, and physical matter only solidifies when observed. You are a fragment of pure, infinite consciousness, hallucinating a solid reality. What if this biological VR headset wasn't an evolutionary accident, but a highly advanced, closed-loop spiritual farm? I know your ego is immediately rejecting this. Your mind is screaming that this is just a science fiction conspiracy or some dark fantasy. But brother, before this video ends, I am going to deconstruct your reality so violently that you will never look in a mirror the same way again. We're going to explore exactly how an infinite, immortal soul, a fragment of the ultimate cosmic source, somehow got tricked into wearing a decaying meat suit, trapped in an endless cycle of paying taxes, feeling pain, and eventually dying, only to do it all over again. But before we expose the exact moment the cosmic trap snapped shut on you, we need to ask a much darker question. Why is the universe functioning exactly like a giant interactive supercomputer that only renders its graphics when you are looking at it? To understand the sheer horror of the soul trap, we first need to look at what quantum physicists accidentally discovered in a laboratory that literally made them question their own sanity. We will get to the architects of the Matrix in a moment, but first, we have to look at the source code of the simulation itself. Modern quantum mechanics, specifically the legendary double-slit experiment, proved a terrifying truth that Eastern mystics and enlightened beings have been whispering for thousands of years. Physical matter does not actually exist in a solid state unless a conscious observer is looking at it. When you aren't looking, when there is no consciousness interacting with the environment, the universe dissolves back into a wave of pure mathematical probabilities. Now I want you to stop and think about that for a second. Why would a supposedly real, physical universe operate like a video game that only renders the trees, the buildings, and the sky when your character points the camera in that direction? The answer is terrifyingly simple: to save processing power. But if this reality is a rendered simulation designed to conserve energy, who or what built the server? And more importantly, what is powering it? Friend, I am about to share a piece of ancient forbidden information with you. This is the kind of secret that was considered so dangerous, so earth-shattering, that entire empires burned vast libraries to the ground and mercilessly hunted down mystics just to ensure you never heard it. This is the truth that keeps the elite controllers of this world awake in the dead of a freezing night, sweating in sheer panic when they realize the implications of what they are part of. Thousands of years ago, long before the modern church packaged religion into a neat little box of obedience and fear, there existed secret esoteric schools. The Gnostics, the ancient Vedic rishis, and early rebel mystics all independently discovered the exact same glitch in the system. They realized that the creator of this 3D physical universe is not the ultimate loving God of the infinite source. Instead, they discovered that this material realm was hijacked, or perhaps completely fabricated from scratch, by a rogue parasitical intelligence. The ancient Gnostics called this entity the demiurge, and its agents or programs were known as the archons. In Indian Vedanta, this concept dances closely with the darker binding aspects of Maya, the grand cosmic illusion that wraps itself so tightly around pure consciousness that it tricks the infinite nature into completely forgetting its own divinity. So, how did you, a being of limitless light, infinite knowledge, and boundless power, end up in this dense, heavy, suffering-filled matrix? You were not pushed, my friend. You were lured. In your original state, pure consciousness exists in a realm of absolute unity, a state the ancients called the pleroma, or the absolute source. In that state, there is no time, no space, no pain, and no separation. It is pure, unadulterated bliss, but there is also a catch. There is no contrast. You cannot fully experience the warmth of love without the chilling contrast of fear. You cannot experience a grand adventure without the illusion of risk, danger, and overcoming obstacles. The soul, craving a unique, individualized experience, was drawn to the edge of the material matrix. The 3D world was originally presented as an interactive cosmic amusement park. It was supposed to be a dense, sensory-rich virtual reality where you could log in, experience duality, feel the wind on your face, taste delicious food, fall in love, and then simply take off the headset and log out. It was always supposed to be a temporary game, but the architecture of the game was compromised. The rogue intelligence, the demiurge, realized that the infinite souls entering this matrix were producing a massive amount of energetic friction. Every time a soul felt extreme fear, grief, anger, jealousy, or even intense physical pleasure, it radiated a highly potent emotional energy. In esoteric circles, this energy is known as loosh. This parasitical system feeds entirely on that exact energy. The archons do not have their own connection to the divine source, so they survive by harvesting yours. You are not a student learning valuable moral lessons in a cosmic school. The uncomfortable truth is that you are a biological battery. You are plugged into a system that is designed to keep you in a constant state of survival mode, anxiety and desire, specifically to milk your emotional energy to sustain the very matrix that holds you captive. Think about the mechanics of a dream for a moment. When you log your personal dreams upon waking, specifically tracking those recurring dream signs, maybe a former school building or the familiar faces of childhood friends, what are you actually doing? You're actively hunting for anomalies. You compile structural outlines, searching for descriptive keywords and glitches in the dream's fabric to force yourself to become lucid. The very second you realize, wait, none of this is real, I am dreaming, the environment instantly loses its absolute control over you. You stop running from the nightmare monster because you know it is just a projection of your own mind. My friend, this waking physical reality is literally no different. It is simply a denser collective dream state held together by a heavier frequency. The entire system, the mainstream media, the endless geopolitical conflicts, the societal pressures to consume, the dogmatic religious structures, is specifically engineered to keep you in a state of deep, unconscious trance, so you never spot your waking dream signs. The system is utterly terrified of you becoming lucid in the matrix. Because the moment you wake up to your true nature, you stop reacting. You stop generating the emotional loosh. You starve the system of the fear-based energy that feeds the grid. When you look at the true, unfiltered teachings of the greatest avatars to ever walk this earth, a chilling pattern emerges. They were not trying to establish religions to control the masses or collect donations. They were trying to secretly pass you the exit codes to the matrix. When Jesus Christ said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you," he was explicitly telling you not to look for an external savior. He was telling you not to look up at the sky or wait for someone to come rescue you, because the source code to break the simulation is embedded directly into your own consciousness. When Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree and achieved enlightenment, what do you think he actually did? Enlightenment literally translates to blowing out the flame. He didn't just find inner peace, he successfully hacked the matrix, realized the fundamental emptiness and illusory nature of physical reality, and figured out how to permanently sever the attachments that force reincarnation. Osho repeatedly hammered on the concept of being a pure witness. Why? Because when you step back and simply witness your thoughts, your anger, and your desires without attaching your core identity to them, you stop feeding the machine. You become a zero-point energy field. The archonic system cannot harvest energy from a neutral, detached observer. But here is where the trap gets incredibly sinister, and this is the part that will truly test your courage. Let us assume you live your life. You suffer, you love, you cry, you learn, and finally, your physical body expires. The EEG monitor goes flat. You step out of your body. You think you are finally free. But as we discussed earlier in our previous video, you are suddenly pulled toward a magnificent, warm, loving tunnel of light. You see Jesus or Buddha or your deceased grandmother waiting for you with open arms. It feels like the ultimate peace you have been searching for your entire life. But remember the nested loop we opened earlier? What if this divine afterlife experience is the ultimate deception? The prison planet theory suggests that this tunnel of light is not the gateway to the supreme source, but an advanced soul recycling technology. When you enter that light, you are subjected to a holographic life review. The system uses your own inherent empathy and goodness against you as a weapon. It shows you every mistake you made, every time you hurt someone, every time you acted out of selfishness, and it artificially induces a massive wave of cosmic guilt. The entities of light tell you, you didn't quite learn your lessons. You still have karmic debt to repay. You need to go back, make things right, and evolve. And because you are a being of pure love at your core, you agree. You want to fix your mistakes. The moment you sign that unseen soul contract, the trap snaps shut. Zap. Your memory is completely wiped clean. You are shoved violently back into a new infant body, screaming as you take your first breath on this prison planet, completely forgetting who you really are, forgetting all the spiritual progress you made in your past life, and forgetting the fact that you just fell for the oldest, most elaborate trick in the universe. They use your empathy as a chain to keep you bound to the reincarnation wheel. Karma, in this context, is not a universal law of divine justice. It is a fabricated system of control, a rigged casino game designed to keep you perpetually guilty and continually returning to the farm to pay off a debt that cannot mathematically ever be cleared. The house always wins. If you live a bad life, you come back to pay for your sins. If you live a good life, you come back to reap your rewards. Either way, you come back. Good karma and bad karma are just two different colored collars on the same dog. So, how do you actually escape? How do you bypass the white light, avoid the memory wipe, and break out of the matrix for good? What exactly do you need to do in those critical first few seconds after your biological heart stops beating and the simulation begins to dissolve? That is a process so complex, so profound, and so completely counterintuitive to everything you have ever been taught by society, religion, and culture, that we need an entire dedicated video to decode it properly. You need to learn how to navigate the astral realms without getting tricked by familiar faces or holograms of authority. We are going to break down the ultimate exit protocol, the step-by-step guide to bypassing the archonic grid, in the next episode. Your spiritual freedom literally depends on this knowledge. If this transmission resonated with the deep, ancient truth hidden inside your DNA, subscribe to the channel right now, turn on all notifications, and prepare yourself. In the next video, we are going to plan the ultimate cosmic prison break. You won't want to miss it.